KFAN.
Denard, Paul Allen, how you been?
Been good. Are we on air? Or are we just talking?
No. All right, 3-2. Well, I mean, I can, it's clearly you're identifying me right now as not being a Dan Kolko. I think it's Dan Kolko is the name. So, I mean, I didn't realize you wanted to go there first. That, I don't bring you onto the radio like Dan Kolko from the Nationals, Washington Nationals TV thing or anything. But yeah, we're on the air, man. We're just doing the best we can back here. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
How are you doing, sir?
Bro, who's Dan Kolko, and why do you like him more than me?
Is that the energy we're starting this morning?
All right, 3-2. Denard Span, former outfielder and center fielder with the Minnesota Twins. He played here 2008 to 2012. Then he was with the Natties 2013 to 2015. The Giants 2016 to 2017. The Tampa Bay Rays 2018, and the Seattle Mariners also in 2018. And thank you. And Denard called the games against the White Sox with a Justin Morneau and a Miss Marnie. And now he's to the City by the Bay for some hot baseball action against the San Francisco Giants. Hey, Denard, it's Paul Allen. Welcome to KFAN. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing great, Denard. It's just fantastic back here. The baseball team's pretty good. The basketball team has Anthony Edwards. The football team has Justin Jefferson. The hockey team doesn't have a Schlepper, but it has a Kaprizov. And you know what? We're home to the PWHL champions. So, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, the getting's good back here.
Yeah, I was about to say, sports are doing really well in Minnesota, and the fans should be happy right about now.
Yeah, I mean, you can only go so far with that. I mean, you're right. I mean, the Timberwolves for the first time in 2 decades, man, just making memories the way they did. But then Kyrie just went crazy on us. Likewise for Luka, and they go to the finals and they get beat by Boston. Yeah. But that was good. It was a good step, And but our Minnesota Lynx too, and this is I'm one of those lemmings. Okay, I didn't watch the WNBA a ton for almost half my life, and then you get Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Caitlin shooting from the logo. And I mean, I got like the WNBA League Pass now. I'm watching games on Prime Video. I know things about Asia Wilson. I mean, do you watch any WNBA? Because the Lynx are pretty good.
To say that I have not been watching, I really haven't. Obviously, I catch stuff on sports TV and some of the storylines, but I have not kept up with it.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so you didn't get bit by Caitlin Clark in the NCAA tournament, or you didn't watch that?
I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't. I wish I had.
That's awesome.
There was a lot of chatter, a lot of talk, but I just didn't have the time. I got 3 little ones at the house.
Yep, I understand
under
that.
Under the age of 6, man. So it's tough to sit in front of the TV and watch any full game, if I'm being honest.
I think that's awesome. I mean, because you're like one of few people who's like, no, I didn't, I got kids here, and I got Annie, and I'm trying to learn hockey, and I'm sitting in bad seats at Lightning games. I don't have time to watch Caitlin from 45. So, yeah, I completely understand that and respect that. Did you, I apologize for this, Denard, at This Is D-Span via the tweet machine. That's where you can follow him as 9 to Noon does. Make sure I didn't mess that thing up. Yep, This Is D-Span, at This Is D-Span. Mariners. I had forgotten you finished your career in Seattle. I mean, was it a memorable time there in the Cappuccino capital?
Yeah, yes and no, I guess. I mean, yes. I mean, every team that I played for was memorable. I was there for 4 months. Yeah, it was a good time. I had a good time. We had a really good ball club. We just missed going to the playoffs. So yeah, I mean, I would say it wasn't like when I was in Minnesota or DC where I spent longer periods of time. But for what it was an enjoyable time. Me and Annie and my oldest son were there. Yeah, we enjoyed being out there.
Did you where you're going to be calling games for 3 days starting tomorrow into the All-Star break? It's when I called races up there 93 to 98, it was called Pac Bell. Is it AT&T now?
When I played there in 16, 17, it was called AT&T, and I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, they changed it to, it's called Oracle Park now.
Okay, Oracle Park. I would imagine you love, I mean, you were there like 3 years, right? Or 2 years, 16 to 17. I mean,
correct.
I went to like 5 ball games there. I mean, what an amazing ballpark, right?
Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere, cool stadium, has a lot of quirks to it. It's right there on the bay. And, San Francisco is a cool city in itself.
Did you, not that I was able to watch because I'm in the Comcast covenant, but nevertheless, the highlights that I heard and everything, it seemed like you really were enjoying yourself calling Twins baseball with Marnie Gellner and Justin Morneau. Were you having a good time? Yeah,
I had a really good time. And, I think this is game number 6 and number 7 for me calling. And so it's, still fresh for me. I'm still, getting my feet wet. Justin, it was a joy to spend some time around him. I've seen him over the last couple of years, but this was the most time I've spent around him, probably since I played, on the team in 2012. And he's obviously been doing it for some time now. He's a pro, and so just having him beside me and kind of watching how he prepares and how he comes in and says certain things was a treat for me. And then sitting next to the all-pro Marnie Gellner, she has so much experience, and watching her really, change. I don't say change history, but she was the first woman to call a Twins game, so it was just special to be a part of that. And so it was fun. It was fun, and I'm just trying to soak it all up and trying to learn as much as I possibly can so I can be the best I can.
Now, when you played multiple sports at Tampa Catholic, and you settled in on baseball. We've talked about this before. I've said multiple times that you being on the radio show as much as you were as a weekly guest when you were here, man, this is like one of my favorite moments in my 26, 27 years doing this radio show. And we appreciate that, and we always appreciate your time. But I remember you were a very good football player. I don't know, like, if you had a chance to go to the NFL or whatever, but you were really, really good. And what I'm getting at is the baseball schedule. All right, now you got 162 of them, and then the playoffs, spring training too. But I mean, like a 3-game series in San Francisco, the city by the bay, and night games and stuff. That the baseball schedule compared to like football once a week with practice and film, and then hockey and basketball, 3 games in 4 nights, 4 games in 5 nights. What a grind! That baseball schedule, that just has to be the absolute best, right?
You said the absolute best?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because you get to recover and chill in cool cities.
Recover when you're playing every single day. I mean, we have a day off today, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best schedule.
Really?
I mean, it's the only schedule I know as a professional athlete, and it's in a lot of ways it's fun. Because you do get a chance to hop back on the horse and play a game, after you've had maybe a bad game, or even if you are playing good, you get a chance to continue, that momentum. And, but it is gruesome because, you're playing 162 games in 180 days. So there's pros and cons to it. I have buddies of mine that play in the NFL. And we always go back and forth about which sport is more, physically taxing and which one's more difficult. And, they are, we go back and forth all day long until we're blue in the face.
You're kidding me.
At the end of the day, we're all beat up and tired at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, this is, not because I work next to or with NFL athlete, but I mean, you got to be kidding me with that. The rigors of a baseball player compared to the physical nature of of like a football season. Maybe I'm missing something here. I think I know baseball's long And, you got 7 games in a week sometimes, but I mean, the collision.
No, it's not sometimes. It's all the time.
That's a good point.
What are you talking about? Well, are we going to get in this discussion this morning?
Sure. I mean, that plays into what I'm saying, Denard, is that if forget the city. I mean, it could be San Francisco or you could be in Pittsburgh or wherever. It's you play, all right, you're a little sore and you get, mind gets a little tired, say in August and September with the body. But, you wake up.
I like how you said a little sore, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, a lot sore, especially when you're hitting 3 triples in a game like you do. Okay, now you're a game changer, so that is duly noted too. But you also are going to stay in a cool hotel, and then you wake up and your body gets to recover. Where the football they play once a week, so I completely understand what you're saying there. And you just you just turned 40 a couple of months ago, so I mean,
I did.
See,
and I don't want to talk about it either.
Well, see what's happening is you're starting to look at injuries, and you're starting to be a little get off my lawn.
You see that? Yeah, man. The older you get, man, the set in your ways and the short tempered you get. So, yeah, man, it's real.
Denard was a first round pick in 2002. So I'm looking at Wikipedia. I've never asked you this before. Did you really turn down $2 million to be with the Colorado Rockies so you could come to the Minnesota Twins?
Oh man, that's in Wikipedia.
Yeah, was not supposed to be in there.
What? I mean,
well, it's true.
Yeah, I guess not. I didn't think it would be in there, man, because I mean, there's. I'm trying to think how I can answer this right here.
We're also 22 years ago, so I mean, it's
Yeah, it was 22 years. Yeah, it was 22 years ago. And that situation had a lot of gray area. I can tell you that. I don't want to point fingers at anybody.
I got you.
My representation or anything, but one thing was told to me about an offer from them, and we turned it down. It wasn't it wasn't $2 million it was $2 million. It was about 2.3 million.
Damn.
But you got to remember back then in the draft, it was different than how it is today.
Right.
And so, back then it was about, all right, if you were the 9th pick in that current year, you wanted to try to get, like you would get more off of inflation from the 9th pick the year before. So if the 9th pick got 2.2 in 01, the 9th pick in 03 should at least get 2.4, 2.5.
Right.
At the very least. And so, in all transparency, since you pulled my coattail this morning, the Colorado Rockies, they tried to undercut me. And offer me less than what the 01 pick got.
Jeez.
And so we were like, no. But you know what, though? Everything happened for a reason. Because if I would have signed with the Colorado Rockies, I wouldn't know you.
Okay.
And I wouldn't know the awesome, wonderful organization of the Minnesota Twins either. So
right.
I feel like everything, materialized and happened the way it was supposed to happen. God orchestrated for me to spend 10 years with the Minnesota Twins. There's no way I'd be the player that I am and the person that I am today if it were not for this organization.
Amen. But, in knowing you as long as I have, you're a man of simple means. It doesn't matter if you get a $160 million deal, a $16 million deal, or a $16 deal. You're the same D-Span, and you are a person of simple means, which this is kind of eye-opening to me because I didn't know that you were like rolling in fat stacks of cash enough so to turn down $2 million from a baseball team. But hey, you know what? Yeah. Think about what might have happened to the home run hitting in your career, and you could pop one occasionally.
That is true.
Think about how much money you. So maybe you were short-sighted then, in that they're trying.
You know what though? But you know what though? Like I said before though, like hindsight's 2020. You can always say what if. What if I would have went here? What if I would have did this? Or what if I would have met this person? What if my career would have went down this route? At the end of the day, like I'm grateful. I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I got an opportunity to. Play the game and the sport that I loved from a kid, and I did it at its highest level. And me and my family, are blessed, and we're comfortable, and we're grateful. You know what I mean? So yeah, things maybe could have went a different way, but
yeah,
I'm perfectly fine, and in the main words, I'm perfectly content with how things materialize. I really am.
Well, by looking at this is D-Span and just knowing where your heart is, and you have a beautiful heart, I could tell. Speaking of grateful or being touched, I could tell when you met Willie Mays. May God rest his soul.
Oh man,
right?
Yeah.
I could it's a tweet, so I could read the words, but tweets are short and everything. But why did Willie matter so much to you?
Because he's an icon, he's a legend. He paved the way for me and players that look like me, and he was my dad's favorite player. And I didn't get a chance to watch him play, but you think of the game of baseball, you think of outfield, and you think of all-stars, MVPs, Hall of Famers. His name is at the top of that list. And when I got an opportunity to come here, 7-8 years ago now, believe it or not, when I got a chance to meet him, it was one of the coolest things that I've ever got a chance to experience, and just to see how generous he was with his time, and how generous he was just with the love that he showed me, and the times that we spent together. It was something memorable. It really was.
Yeah, that's spectacular, man. And this is Denard Span, a former Twins outfielder. He's going to be calling the Twins and Giants over the weekend from the city by the bay. What do you like about the Twins? Not just what you just saw, but just like what you know. You're an elite baseball mind.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of talent. I think they have a lot of talent. I think the roster has been constructed really well. You look around the field, they have athletes all over the place. You look around the field, they have depth in key positions. Royce Lewis, he's. I think if he can stay healthy, that guy has a chance to be a top 5 MLB player. And he's already done some special things, and he just went down recently, and then Brooks Lee comes in, and this guy here is as advertised, and has came in and already made an impact at the big league level. And you look at the Minnesota native Matt Wallner, I almost have to be honest with you, I almost forgot that he was in the organization, and he's come up in 3 or 4 games and has made an impact. And Kepler and Larnick and Correa. I've been very impressed with Correa, the small amount of games I've got a chance to call, and just his leadership and the way he goes about playing the game of baseball. You got Carlos Santana over there. It's just a well put together team, and just a lot of talent. And more recently, just the way they've been playing offensively. In the past or the last few years, they've been an all or nothing type offense, hitting home runs or striking out. And you're starting to see, them make some adjustments and having team at bats, and just playing the game of baseball the way it's supposed to be played. And so it's just been, there's just been a joy to watch. And I think I'm not just saying this. I think they have the talent and the legitimacy to make a run.
Well, they just in closing here, and thanks for the time. Denard's in San Francisco, so it's quite early. Let's let him have his nice day there, because his body's probably all torn up from calling all those games, including a doubleheader against the White Sox. So we got to respect that with the baseball schedule and everything. But catching Cleveland. It's the low hanging fruit here is take a look at the schedules, Paul. The Guardian schedule's dramatically harder than the Twins in the second half. I get that, but who's to say Ramirez and Jimenez and the Nailers and Kwan? They can hit, man, and their bullpen is the bomb. So they got no Bieber, he got hurt, but nevertheless, how can the Twins catch Cleveland outside of just beating them each time they play?
Honestly, it's cliche, but they just got to control what they can control. And I think if they can play how they're playing right now, and have it obviously over an extended period of time, I think they'll be fine. And just work. When I say control what they can control, just focus on the team that's in front of them. Winning series, and at the end of the day, that's all you can do. And I think, once again, from an offensive side of things, the way that they've been playing, I think if they keep that up, they will be able to do that because it's a sustainable style of play that they're playing right now. They're not going up there trying to hit home runs, versus guys throwing 98, 97. They're going up there having good ABs. They're shortening it up with 2 strikes, and so, I think if they just stay the course and find a way to get into the tournament at the end of the season, I think you'll see something special.
Yep. Until like the Yankees get bored just sitting around and up by the trading deadline, they just like give Freddie Freeman $8 million or $800 million or some big name like that, and then they just add like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees won't get Freddie Freeman, but I feel what you're saying as far as them, having the resources and sometimes going for it and doing whatever it seemingly takes to try to get them over the hump. So, I mean, I think this, once again, I think this Twins ball club is right there. Could they use maybe, 1 or 2 pieces, maybe, but at the end of the day, I do think that they are set up to be competitive and to be able to compete with, those teams like the Yankees and Houston and Texas is having a down year. But at the end of the day, when you get in those playoffs, you have to be able to pitch against those top teams. And so obviously the offense is a big key, but the pitching is huge as well.
My friend, you are spectacular. Given we're both Christians, as the Bible goes, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 13, that's you, salt of the earth. You are salt of the earth, and I can't wait to talk to you a little bit later, okay?
I appreciate you, and, I have nothing but love for you, and you're still my favorite, man. Don't believe the hype, what you saw on Twitter, man. I love you.
Until you talk to Dan Kolko. All right, I appreciate you, and I'll tell Annie everybody back here says hello, and God bless you, man. We'll talk soon, all right?
All right, take care.
See you, Denard Span. This is D-Span. This is the cash thing.
The Fan, along with BigDeck.com, want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. The keyword is bonus. Enter that keyword at KFAN.com. Might win $1,000 with the keyword bonus at KFAN.
Fan.
Yeah, I might punch you in the face.
All right, let's, where do we leave off? Green Bay. What was Green Bay?
Oh, they were,
What number?
They were 10 and 19-1.
Okay, what's 9?
Number 9, the Dallas Cowboys, 16-1. A lot of weird stuff they got to figure out down there.
Anybody who wants to run money on the Dallas Cowboys to win the Super Bowl at 16-1, yours truly will give 22-1, and I'll meet you by Sir Leonard Dykert's piano in the lobby after the radio show.
I want to win, man. That's all I care about.
Who's next?
A Week 3 opponent, the Houston Texans.
Yeah, this thing's sneaky, man. This thing's so sneaky. Wow.
Stephon Diggs. You got Tank Dell's going to be back healthy.
But I love the coach.
Stroud year 2.
So you got to have the coach and the quarterback.
DeMeco Ryans is elite.
Right. And DeMeco, man, I've just heard a lot of good things about DeMeco from those who played against him last year, about the organization and the unlocking of C.J. Stroud at a certain time of the season where it was apparent to some they weren't letting him do certain things, but when they did, he was perfectly prepared. What are the odds on the Texans?
16-1. They're 8th.
Wow, that's
DeMeco's like he's like Dan Campbell South, where he wears a lot of it outward.
Yep, doesn't talk as much.
But he does definitely not as much as Campbell.
Yep.
But he wears it on his sleeve, very
like
outward. He's got the player credibility, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at 8.
Next.
Bills 15-1. They're 7th in odds. They're kind of that once a chart topper or kind of meeting with the Chiefs atop the odds chart. The Bills are heading the wrong way. PA.
Yeah,
you got to be bleeping me.
I mean, maybe it's like no Diggs, no problem, but also no Gabe Davis. So he's gone too. It ain't like Gabe's the greatest ever. But
they got to replace 240 targets.
Wow,
between those two, with Keon Coleman and whoever else they added.
The bit just has some dysfunction to it. I ain't saying McDermott's on short time, but nevertheless, I ain't taking those odds.
Well, let's jump into the top 6. Philly Freedom, PA, 14-1. Change the coordinators. You got Vic Fangio leading that defense now, feeling good about themselves. They get Cooper DeJean, the Swiss Army knife. Wow. What do you think about 14-1 on them figuring themselves out?
Well, if they have the conference title game at home, they'll go to the Super Bowl.
Over. Yeah.
Because that means that their confidence is bursting. Their fans are uber arrogant and full of vitriol. And Jalen's probably playing at an incredibly high level.
Yeah.
So what were the odds again?
14-1.
Not terrible.
Jumping into the top 5 also. So technically the Eagles are tied for top 5. I should have just looked ahead. Cincinnati Bengals. So Joe's healthy, feeling good, 14-1.
Absolutely in.
And here's where, when you were talking about it towards the end of the Open, the Kitties, tough guy town, tough guy team, tough guy roster, tough guy offense, tough guy defense. Mm-hmm. They are 4th, 13-1.
13's fair.
You gotta be bleeping me.
At number 3, the Baltimore Ravens, 9.5-1.
Tricky.
King Henry, though.
Yeah, but you're going to need a Lamar to throw the right pass at the right time in the right game. I'm out.
Who am I? Why am I losing? I'm losing it right now. They lost a home playoff game to who? Was that Buffalo or was it Pittsburgh? No, it wasn't Pittsburgh.
Some
Pittsburgh
weird
lost
team.
at home.
No, we got to hustle here for the sharpshooter.
Oh, we do indeed. And top 2, it's Niners at 6-1.
Yep.
And then the Chiefs at 6-1 as well.
If I were spotting up on this, and I'm not, but if I were, it would be Lions, Bengals, and or Texans. I think the odds in those 3 added up pretty well.
I like the Lions. I do like I like the Jets at 20-1. I love playing that game. Yeah. They're sitting right in that mix for me.
Yeah.
Everything has to go right.
Quarterback knows how to win in the playoffs.
But I hate to say it because it's like with 2017 NFC title game all over again. The Eagles at 14-1. If they truly fix that defense, they are absolutely in that mix of immediately re-entering the Super Bowl conversation.
Football feast.
To a WNBA feast with Bridget Carleton, a sharpshooter, a Canadian sharpshooter for Cheryl Reeves' team. She will finish the show with us around the corner.
I can't wait until tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow might very well be too late.
Yep, tomorrow is the Friday football feast. There will be a fantasy feel to the radio show tomorrow. For we are approaching fantasy football season, and Paul Charchian's going to be doing double duty in that he will be with the Tenna Fitzgerald after 9 to noon tomorrow, and they have a fantasy spectacular, I believe, noon to 1. So we have an author on tomorrow who wrote a book that matters to Charch. If it matters to Charch, it matters to us, and hopefully it matters to you. So the plan was to construct an hour at the end just to like chat about running backs and wide receivers and tight ends and quarterbacks and massage Paulie's elite fantasy football mind. But then he apprised us of what he was doing with Cheddar B. So we're like, nah, we don't want to clip on the Tenna Fitzgerald. So you'll get the author about fantasy football tomorrow, plus some more dropped in or sprinkled in during the first 2 hours of the radio show. That will be tomorrow, 9 to noon, for the Friday football feast. And very happy coming up here shortly to chat with a member of the Minnesota Lynx. And in fact, from the Cappuccino capital, here she is. This is a sharpshooting forward for the Minnesota Lynx and went 4 for 4 from 3 Tuesday night in that victory against the Sparks. She's a Chatham, Ontario native who was the Big 12 Player of the Year in 2019 at Iowa State. Ames go crazy. She's also an Olympian representing her native Canada in the Paris Olympics. And here she is, Bridget Carleton. Good to meet you, Bridget. I'm Paul Allen. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you?
No problem. And I appreciate you doing this at 9:43 Seattle time with the game tomorrow night. We'll really appreciate that. A fan of your game. How long did you live in Chatham?
I grew up there. So up until I went away to Iowa State, I grew up there. My family's still from there, so I get to spend time back there when I have some time off.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where I'm from.
Did you ever go to Parks Blueberries and pick blueberries for like your own blueberry pie? Because I saw that online yesterday and searching Chatham attractions, and that Parks Blueberry thing looked pretty cool.
Yes, I have done that. That's a difficult thing to do. If you're from Chatham, it's very common. I think everyone's done that, being from Chatham. But yeah, it's an incredible blueberry field, and they have really good blueberries, yes.
Have you settled into Seattle yet and ventured over to Pike Place Fish Market?
Not yet. We got in here last night, went up to dinner as a team, but just recovering, resting, and getting ready for the game tomorrow.
I've known your coach for a decade and change. So when I say this, it comes lovingly, okay? Because I do have a way you can spook your coach today if you want. Do you have any interest?
I'm kind of interested.
Cheryl likes to go to Lake Union and watch the planes hydroplane in and out as she eats and watches film. So that sounds like a lot of fun. But she has no idea that you would know that. So you could sneak up on her and startle her and catch her off guard if you wanted. But see, I don't want you to do that and have your minutes cut because you made her mad.
Yeah. I got to pick and choose, my times to that's for sure.
Yeah, but that's so she's probably at Lake Union right now. She's just obsessed with watching these planes hydroplane in and hydroplane out. I think it's kind of cool, man. And
yeah.
Anytime, on the grind of a season, practices, trying to beat teams, you guys got a really good team. You got a bunch of games this week. Anytime you can find mental relaxation, that's probably key, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you get some time and space to think about something other than basketball, you got to kind of take advantage of it because we are full go a lot of the time, playing so many games in such a short amount of time, and always being together. And so when we do find time to relax and enjoy Seattle when we have time, like we did last night at dinner as a team, we take advantage of that.
You love that right corner, don't you? I mean, it's like your second home.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable there. I do like that right corner. The right wing, too, I like that whole side of the floor.
That in that Commissioner's Cup, that Commissioner's game, that big right corner three you hit very late, is that one of the bigger shots you've hit in your pro career?
Game, for sure. That kind of put them away. That was a big shot. We could breathe a little, have some breathing room. Yeah, for sure. So
Cheryl says you are very consistent and you play the right way, basically so much that she begs you to take a bad shot just to see what it looks like. What? She told me that on the radio yesterday, and I'm like, what? So I'll ask you, what does all that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I take that as a great compliment. I just like playing basketball the right way and moving the ball and getting the best shot for the team, whatever that looks like. And just making the right basketball play, that's kind of what I hang my hat on, and that's why I've made such a great professional career so far. But sometimes in basketball, you do have to take bad shots, and you got to kind of be aggressive and, make something out of nothing. And sometimes I need to put myself in those situations. I don't take many bad shots, but Cheryl definitely has the confidence in me to do that if necessary.
Bridget Carleton, the Minnesota Lynx, they hook Seattle tomorrow night. The game's on KFAN, and then they get Indiana this weekend here. How popular? Let me be the 1 millionth person to ask you this, Bridget. How popular is basketball in Canada, and did you ever consider hockey?
Yes, I did. I actually played hockey and basketball, and it was in the same season, obviously, during the winter, and I would miss my basketball games for hockey games.
Wow.
I loved hockey. Yeah, that's the typical Canadian thing to do. I had so much fun playing hockey, but I was definitely better at basketball, so that was a little more fun, and I made a career of it, so obviously I made the right decision. But, yeah, I loved hockey.
Were you a blue liner?
I was a defenseman, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and I would imagine, if you went to pinching, you probably never took a bad shot, right? Just like the WNBA.
Yes, also true.
Coach is like, Bridget, just throw it up there one time just to see what happens. See, I might get a rebound. Who knows? How good is your Canadian Olympic squad?
We're good. We're ranked 5th in the world right now. We were ranked 4th a couple of years ago, so we're up there. There's so many good teams around the world, and competing for a medal is so hard, but that's our goal this Olympics. We have a really good balance of veterans and newcomers, and hopefully we can put it together and do some damage in Paris.
The U.S. team is going to be super tough to beat, right? Is that like common knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, they're the best in the world. They've been the best in the world for a really long time. So, yeah, they're definitely the team to beat.
And that's putting it mildly. So, like when Canada or whomever comes into a situation like this, and you know there's a target at which to shoot that is very, very, very good every single Olympics. Like what's the mindset? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's no pressure. You know, when you're playing a team like that, that's won however many gold medals in a row. There's no pressure, so you kind of just play free and make things as difficult as possible. And yeah, I mean, you're there for a reason. You're at the Olympics for a reason. So you know, playing against the best in every country, it's a lot of fun, and you take a lot of pride in that, playing for your country. So yeah, just kind of doing what you can do, make things as difficult as possible, and you never know what can happen. You know, that's what's fun about sports.
Bridget, eliminating your team. Eliminating everybody on your team. Is Asia Wilson the best overall player in the WNBA?
Man, I think so. She's playing incredibly right now. Like, she's playing MVP numbers. She's so hard to guard. Yeah, I mean, she's incredible. She's like one of the best in the world for a reason. Every time we go up against her, it's impossible to guard her. We have to guard her as a team. Not one person can stop her. And then she's also a really great defender too. I think, yeah, she's definitely one of the best in the world right now, and definitely putting up MVP numbers as well. But I will say, you know, we have our own MVP on our team, but
no doubt.
Asia's definitely up there as well.
Right. And Fee, as you would call her, Nafisa Collier, you know, with this foot, Cheryl made it sound yesterday like she'll be back relatively soon, which is definitely good news. Now, Indiana Fever here Sunday. As an Ames alum, what do you think of the former Hawkeye, Caitlin Clark?
She's incredible. How she, first of all, her college career was outstanding, obviously, and, you know, all the new fans she brought to the game, and how she's been able to handle the stardom in new territory kind of for women's basketball. It's been incredible to watch, and I'm really excited for her success at this level, and it'll be fun to play her on Sunday. Yeah, obviously, you know, don't love the Hawkeyes because I am a Cyclone, but it has been incredible to watch her and see her grow, and it'll be fun to continue to watch her grow into her professional career. Well,
Bridget, and by the way, via Twitter, if you're interested in following her as 9 to Noon does, at Bridge Carleton. Well, it ties into what we were talking about 5 minutes ago in closing here. With what Cheryl said. I mean, why don't you pull up from the logo and shoot threes? I mean, you know you'd hit some, and Cheryl probably wouldn't be mad if you missed 3 in a row.
Sure, maybe. Maybe I'll pull that out on Sunday at home. You never know.
Sunday, forget that. I want to watch you Friday. Just pull up from the logo one time just to see if Cheryl's a lady of her word. You know what I mean? You can't get mad on her. You said on radio you wouldn't. That'd be super sweet. All right.
Okay, we'll see.
It's Bridget. It's my pleasure meeting you, and safe travels to Paris, and stay healthy with the games coming up, Seattle and Indiana and everything. You're a treat to watch, and you guys have a very good team, and I look forward to meeting you when I come to one of the games. So good luck against Seattle, and congrats on that honor of playing in the Olympics.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yep. See you later. Bridget Carleton. She a sharpshooter for Cheryl Reeves, WNBA Lynx. Thank you very much for listening to 9 to Noon today. I'm Paul Allen. The Friday Football Feast is tomorrow. Here comes the con to put that wrap on the show.
Thanks to Casey's for bringing you the 9 to Noon show wraps, from the food and fuel rewards to pizza. Love myself some Casey's. Kind of mailing it in today with the wrap. You, the listeners, should actually give yourselves a clap. And I'm a fraud, no hero of Hogan's, because I'm just going to use and freestyle your Super Bowl slogans, like from Hot Dish and Eating Taters, or eating jambalaya with Gators. From a season that was worse than Ebola, and now we're down in NOLA trying to win some trophies. Taking McCarthy to a party in the Marty, and we're winning a Lombardi. We're sailing Bud's ship, love Bud's ship, all the way to Louisiana by river to win a championship. And tossing Vegas dice didn't work out so well. Now we're tasting Cajun spice. Or what about the land of 10,000 lakes? Or now we're in the home of King Cakes.
Wintersville sounds better in FM.
From
I know, right?
Blizzardinators to Gators. Thank you so much for listening tonight and doing it. Keep those Super Bowl slogans coming. This is why I don't freestyle.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.